What's going on, everyone? So I talked about the Dallas Mavericks and broke down the potential of them being a title contender. And my big thing is Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis has to be far and away the clear-cut best player on Dallas and the number one option. Right? He is the best player on the Dallas Mavericks, but there's been a lot of questions about him being the clear-cut guy. Right? I mean, there's problems even with the Lakers. Love Anthony Davis, but the question was like, is he ever going to, like, what does it look like when he's the guy? Right? He's too inconsistent at times, seems to defer to LeBron too regularly, right? In his defense, it's LeBron James, right? It's easy to, like, there's certain guys, Kobe, Magic, or Kobe, Michael, there we go, LeBron, right? Guys like that, where it's just like, if they're on the court, they're the guy, right? Get them the basketball. And it's easy to kind of defer to that. There's very few guys that are like, nah, I got this, right? Give me the rock, right? And it was something that was a real question. Like, hey, you have to demand the ball. You're not getting the ball, demand it. You're the guy, right? He needs to be that for Dallas. If he can be that for Dallas, then yes, Dallas could be hoisting the Larry O'Brien at the end of the season. But if he kind of settles in and is like, I'm okay being second fiddle, and he's kind of just like that, again, that roller coaster of Anthony Davis that he can be, then I don't think that they'll be able to win the championship. I don't. I could they? Sure, right? They're incredibly deep, incredibly talented. I just wouldn't bet on them to be. Anthony Davis needs to be clear-cut. He's the guy. Get him the rock. And again, that doesn't necessarily mean he can't have a bad night. That doesn't mean that he has to average 40 and 15 or anything like that. I'm talking about he has to be the guy, right? You look at the best players on the best teams, and it's like, that guy is clearly the guy. That's what Anthony Davis needs to be. Well, another big thing that they need is the point guard position, especially while Kyrie Irving is out. Right? Kyrie's going to miss half, if not large majority of the season. And you also don't want to rush Kyrie Irving back. That's the last thing you want to do. You do not want to rush him back, because if you rush him back, then you run the risk of him getting hurt again, and then there goes your season again. So you want to be able to take as much time as possible. So you need to get a point guard that can help in that regard. Now, look, a guy like Chris Paul makes some sense. There's a couple names on the list that I think make some sense. But I think the best option for who's available and your type of team, believe it or not, is D'Angelo Russell. And I know people are going to say, like, oh, D'Lo in the playoffs, this and the other. It's very different when you're looking for D'Lo to be your third, fourth guy. It's another thing when you're looking for him to be your, like, seventh guy. Right? Because you got to keep in mind, he's not going to be your starter all year. He's not going to be the guy all year. He's going to be a guy that is going to play in and fill the role, which he's very good in the regular season. Right? So he's an excellent regular season guy. But on top of that, if he does become a liability again in the playoffs, look, there's a lot of guys that go from the Lakers to another team and are better on the regular team. D'Lo in Brooklyn in the playoffs was actually very good. Right? Again, bright lights in LA are brighter than most. And again, D'Lo in that first playoff run, like, people act like he was like garbage the entire playoffs. Like, he's like single-handedly saved the Lakers in that Memphis series. He was great in the Warriors series. It's really Denver, like, he just did not do good against Denver. If you avoid Denver, D'Lo might actually be good in the playoffs, right? But the reason I like D'Angelo Russell more than anyone else is, one, he gives you a guy that can play on ball as well as off ball and is comfortable, can shoot the three ball. He's still young enough. He's on the right side of 30. He won't be 30 until basically post trade deadline and all-star break. So he's still young. He kind of fits your mold. Guy that can come in, play a backup role, but can be a starter for a good majority of the season. On top of that, the biggest reason is his familiarity with Anthony Davis. You can also say his familiarity with Max Christie, but D'Angelo Russell was one of the few guys on the Lakers that regularly looked for Anthony Davis, got him the basketball, and made Anthony Davis's life so much easier. So much easier, right? D'Angelo Russell is perfect for Anthony Davis, and especially if you want Anthony Davis to be your best player, because D'Lo is going to operate and is always going to look for him, right? Like, one of the big problems that we saw, like, with the Lakers was that, like, Anthony Davis not getting the basketball, especially in the fourth quarter. I mean, even Darvin Ham is out there like, oh man, like, you're his dummy coach can't even, like, and it never got corrected. But also, it's like, who are your playmakers? Austin Reeves, LeBron James, those were the guys that had the ball in their hands, especially in crunch time. D'Lo's kind of playing more off ball as a shooter. Right? But you saw when D'Lo was the point guard, he was assisting. I think he assisted more to Anthony Davis than anybody outside of like LeBron, because he was always looking at that pick and roll action, watching Anthony Davis as the roll man. Anthony Davis calls and signals for the basketball. D'Lo's hitting them every time. Him and D'Lo are like besties too, so that helps too, their relationship. It's not like they have the familiarity, they have the chemistry, have all the things you need. And D'Lo is a really good point guard. Like the big question is like him in the playoffs. But again, you're not on Dallas. You're not looking for him to be your first, second, third, fourth best guy. You have bare minimum. He's probably your fifth guy you're looking for. On the Lakers, he was supposed to be the third. That's the difference, right? At worst, the fourth, right? And he was just not that. But you got to think you're gonna have Kyrie, Anthony Davis, Cooper Flag, and then you still have Klay Thompson, right? D'Lo's probably your fifth guy at best, and probably your sixth man off the bench in reality, right? Once Kyrie comes back. So again, but D'Lo's also a guy you could play alongside Kyrie because of his ability to play, make, and score, right? And he can shoot the basketball. I really think that D'Lo is the best option and best choice for the Dallas Mavericks. I think if you can go and land D'Angelo Russell, you have to go get D'Lo. All right? Look at his stint with the Lakers. Right, the talk about the most, not the most previous stint, because that was when he was on his way out. The year that the previous year, right? He shot on 7.2 attempts, 41.5% from 3-point range. The previous year for the Lakers shot 41.4% from 3-point range. Right, 76 games, 32 minutes. He averaged with the Lakers 18 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, a steal, and half a block per game. Right? Like, that was great. The first go-around when he went from Minnesota to the Lakers, 17.4 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, half a steal, half a block. Right? And then still shot, like I mentioned, 41.4% from 3-point range. And he was 40% with the Minnesota Timberwolves. I mean, the last, 5 years, the guy's been great. He was terrible shooting the 3 ball with Brooklyn for whatever reason, which was odd. He actually had his worst shooting of his career with Brooklyn, and still was, 13, 6, and 3, right? I think he'd be fine in Dallas. I think he would potentially get back to being that, you wouldn't be necessarily looking for him to be a 20-point game guy, but I could see him being, especially with all the weapons you have, all the shooting you have, all the big men, the lob threat. I think D'Lo is at least a 6 to 8 assist a game guy. Especially, here's the other big problem, right? Huge problem with the Lakers and the way they operated D'Lo. And this was always my biggest defense of D'Angelo Russell. The Lakers rarely let D'Angelo Russell be the point guard. Truly. Which I get, it's hard when you have LeBron James and all that stuff. D'Lo, Lakers were actually at their best when D'Lo was able to run the show. And LeBron played off of D'Lo and stuff like that. When he was the point guard, actually got to play the point guard and make plays and make decisions and stuff like that. Lakers were very good basketball team. Problem is, Darvin Ham almost rarely let him do it because he was letting Austin Reeves and LeBron and all that stuff, and he just defaulted to LeBron and AD so heavily. Right? So D'Lo never really got that. He was more of an off-ball catch-shoot guy than he was being a true point guard. Right? And then, same thing, Austin Reeves, they wanted to kind of mold and shape him more into that primary playmaker. And so then D'Lo is a guy that's coming off the bench, playing alongside him. And he's, again, kind of just the initiator that initiates and gets the ball to Austin Reeves, LeBron James, or Anthony Davis. If you let D'Lo be your point guard and actually play the point guard role, I think he's at least a 13, 6, and 4 guy, right? I wouldn't be shocked if he's a 15 and 8 guy. Genuinely. He's gonna get you a couple threes a game. He's gonna get you a couple buckets. He's gonna be a double-digit scorer and get you, 6 to 8 assists regardless. I think bare minimum. But you also have the defense. You have the roster, the defense, the rim protection. You have everything to mask D'Lo when he's on the basketball court. That's the difference too. Lakers didn't have that. They didn't have that stuff, right? It's just you look, it's D'Lo, Okay, non-athletic, non-defensive guy. Austin Reeves, non-athletic, non-defensive guy. Rui Hachimura, non-athletic, non-defensive guy. And then, Anthony Davis was the one guy, but he was like, he had to do everything defensively. He was the entire defensive engine. That's the difference. I think Dallas needs to go get D'Lo. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. It helps me out. Enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.